let's talk about this, okay? Because I got a little bit of a scuffle on Twitter over this. And that's fine, okay? Who doesn't enjoy a good Twitter scuffle? All my best scuffles happen on Twitter. All of my friends love scuffling on Twitter. And it's because, did you guys hear that Jack Dorsey is actually stepping down as CEO of Twitter? He's no longer going to be CEO of Twitter, which has gotten mixed reactions from conservatives. There's one group of conservatives like, woohoo, Jack Dorsey's gone. But then like slowly it turned into, wait, Twitter's not gonna pick somebody who's gonna be nicer to them, I guess, from their perspective. And so then it went into panic mode. And so they started looking to who the new Twitter CEO is going to be. And they're just trying to find something, right? Like, what did this guy do that makes them angry at them? They need a reason to be angry at the new CEO before he's even done anything, right? He hasn't done anything yet. He hasn't like decreed anything. He hasn't like, I'm going to ban all the Trump supporters. He's done nothing. So they went digging through some of his old tweets, and they found one from 2010 where he quoted The Daily Show, and they're now calling him anti-white. So let's read the story quick. It wouldn't be Twitter if there wasn't a new controversy about some decade-old tweets. Just hours after Twitter founder and former CEO Jack Dorsey announced his resignation for the company, there's already new drama surrounding its new CEO. And an old post he made on the platform. Here's the post. If they are gonna make a distinction, if they're not going to make a distinction between Muslims and extremists, then why should I distinguish between white people and racists? Tweeted the man in 2010. So this is almost a 12-year-old tweet that is being brought up at the moment. Almost 12 years old. That's the first thing I'll throw out there. So cancel culture, okay? It isn't just the left that participates in it. Almost 12-year-old tweet being dug up to try to make a man lose his job as CEO of a company, right? Probably the biggest success of this man's career, being able to become CEO of Twitter. Now let me just say about this tweet. First off, before I get into the second part, this tweet is just like based. It's true. It's like 100% true-pilled. This is a good tweet. I don't understand how you could read this tweet and think this is anti-white. He's literally saying, if they are not going to make a distinguish between Muslims and extremists, then why should I distinguish between white people and racists? He's literally saying the first thing is bad, but if it's allowed, then wouldn't the second also bad thing then be allowed? He is saying this is bad and could be comparable to this, which is also bad. It's very, very milquetoast. He's literally just saying racism is bad, and wouldn't it be bad if we were racist also to white people? But somehow, that's turned into he's anti-white. That's the first thing, okay? So it's a base tweet. It's a milquetoast tweet. I have no clue why anybody's getting angry at it, okay? They're being angry at it because they need a reason to be angry at Twitter's new CEO. That's the first thing. The second thing is, this is literally a quote from The Daily Show. This isn't even him saying it. This is him quoting The Daily Show. So not only is this not a racist statement towards white people or anti-white in any way, and it's just people getting angry about a perfectly fine tweet, but the tweet is literally a quote from a TV show from almost like 12 years ago. This was like when I think Jon Stewart was still hosting The Daily Show at the time. Am I right? 2010? Jon Stewart? I wasn't watching it at that point. I think he was still on it. So yes. So I don't know why the same energy wasn't reserved for Jon Stewart, but is being thrown at the new CEO of Twitter. Maybe because everybody knows when it came out of Jon Stewart's mouth, like, oh, okay, this isn't racist. I get the meaning of this. He's saying don't be a bigot, because being a bigot to people is bad. Anyway, the reaction from a whole host of different conservatives has been quite interesting. Here's one, and we'll go through this, and we'll also look at the replies and the retweets and the comments ourselves too. I'm sure they're very interesting. So Twitter's new CEO is a racist. Why am I not surprised? Just brilliant, brilliant man right here. This is Twitter's new CEO. Things are going to get way worse with Jack gone. Who are these people? I actually need to know. Deputy managing a video editor at Red State. Oh, brilliant. Of course. Outkick, Fox Bet Live. Oh, okay. Fox News. Who would have thought? However, those criticizing Twitter's new CEO, as just a few hours ago, don't seem to realize that he is quoting an episode of The Daily Show with Jon Stewart that aired the very night in 2010. The nearly 10-minute segment on NPR's firing of June Williams, NPR Staffing Decision 2010, is still available to stream on Comedy Central's website. The quote comes at the tail end of the segment during a panel with former host Jon Stewart and comedians Larry Wilmore and Asafi Mavadi. Look, I want to see all that same defense that came out for Dave Chappelle to come out for my new CEO of Twitter, okay? I need to see that same defense. Come defend comedy from these cancel woke mobs that are coming out to strike down this brave comedian. If they're not going to make a distinction between Muslim, we already read this, jokes, Madavi eliciting laughter from the audience. I'm probably butchering that name. In addition, in a follow-up tweet, he replied to another user to explain The Daily Show is exactly what he is quoting. I was quoting, so he even explains it. I was quoting this comedian from The Daily Show. The article you're reading seems too deep for my current mental state. My God. No way. I actually didn't read the article beforehand. Senator Marsha Blackburn. A United States Senator. Twitter's new CEO, the person who's going to be deciding what kind of speech is allowed on Twitter. He's just quoting a comedy show. Please. Where was this rage against Dave Chappelle or the other comedians? I don't even know how this woman got her name on a ballot, okay? I don't know how she filled out the paperwork. The right-wing media outlets like Breitbart picked up on the tweet, declaring it to be anti-white racism, while at the same time admitting it was unclear who he was quoting. The message of the tweet and his initial joke appears to go over every critic's head. Of course, not all white people are racist, and that exact sentiment should be extended to Muslims when it comes to Islamophobic stereotypes regarding terrorism as well. Welcome to your first day of CEO of Twitter.com. Wonderful. But I gotta be honest, this is the perfect way for him to be welcomed as the new CEO of Twitter. Find a nearly decade-old tweet that he made, take it out of context when he's quoting somebody else, and just lambast him and rake him over the coals, even though the explanation in the tweet is something completely, like, just non-objectable, like racism bad. My God. I gotta look at the replies to this. The woke darling is the new CEO of Twitter. Haha, 2-minute silence for folk who thought Twitter was being de-wokeified. The new CEO of Twitter doesn't know how to scrub his old tweets. The new CEO of Twitter. Him forgetting to forgot to realize to delete this tweet. Not supporting this guy, but if you are using an 11-year-old tweet as a reason for this guy not to be CEO, you need a better reason. I love how he has to come out like, wait guys, please don't associate me with this terrible, terrible anti-white scumbag. But please, we need to be reasonable and not go after it. So 11-year-old racism is cool then. Dude. These people are fucking deranged, okay? They're deranged. They just saw that this man was going to become CEO of Twitter and dug through everything. They were probably typing in racist, white, doing like name searching everything he could possibly have said off of his Twitter. Found something, threw it up there, didn't look at the context, didn't look what he was quoting. Even Breitbart, in their own article, is like, this seems racist against white people. We don't need to do any more research. We don't even know who he's quoting. Brilliant. This really is the best way to welcome somebody to Twitter. I bet someone actually scrolled his entire tweet history since 2007. Unironically, I am certain that when somebody gets elected or brought into a new position, that there's like people, like staffers at news companies that are assigned to go onto these people's Twitter accounts and just scroll through every single tweet they ever made. I am sure there have been people who have tried to do that for me or basically any other content creator on this platform, where they'll just go through the entirety of people's tweet history to see what they can find to take out of context or to make them look bad, or if they slipped up like 10 to 11 to 12 years ago. Literally just scroll and see what they could do to ruin somebody's life. And he did something completely non-objectable, but they're just like, I fuck him right off the bat. I don't need to do any research. Just screw him. Jesus, man.